Ladies and gentlemen, our top lead this evening. Press and politicians share a love-hate relationship. That is how it should be. Politicians and the press are not meant to be friends or allies. The job of the press is to be the voice of the voiceless and question the powers that be. Question them on corruption, question them on civic issues, question them on high taxes and even higher inflation, question them on freebies, question them on hate speeches, question them on communal agendas. These are inconvenient, uncomfortable questions. And leaders in India are in the habit of shooting the messenger. Take a look at what has happened with two young reporters from the Times network. The Aam Aadmi Party-led Delhi government called for a special session. As is procedure, reporters were issued passes to cover this special session of the assembly, which essentially means that they had permission to be inside the assembly and witness proceedings there. Had their passes. Yet, as they reached the assembly today, they were blocked from entering. No reason was offered. All they were told was, "Upar se order hai." That essentially means that the AAP government doesn't want you here. Point is, irrespective of whether you like a reporter or a news channel or a big network, India is still a democracy and not an autocracy. Prime ministers and chief ministers are elected through a democratic process. Can the chief minister of Delhi then dismantle the very spirit of democracy and stop the press from doing its work? It can't, but Arvind Kejriwal has done it. And this isn't the first time that he has done it. A month ago, the Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab had arrested a Times network journalist and video journalist for trying to cover Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's press conference. Bhawana Kishore had to spend 3 days in a Ludhiana jail. The reason given by the Punjab police was so shamelessly flimsy that no one, including the Punjab police, bought it. Actually, Mr. Kejriwal was upset with Operation Sheesh Mahal that the network had broadcast. An expose on how the Aam Aadmi Party chief, the man who claimed to represent the common Aadmi, the Aam Aadmi, had spent 45 crore rupees on renovating his home. Obviously, Operation Sheesh Mahal was a big embarrassment to the AAP government. But is this how you respond to it? By arresting journalists and blocking them from the assembly just because they belong to a network that has exposed your hypocrisy? Mr. Kejriwal needs to remember that he is a product of this country's democratic spirit, the very spirit he is now trying to demolish. Take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at what exactly happened with Ila and with Tejshree.
Now let me show you the passes that I hold. The pass, in fact, that I hold in my hand. Karthik ji, if you can show. It's written temporary pass for non-accredited journalist entry in Delhi Vidhan Sabha during the session, that is 16th to till date. Name Tejshree from Times Now with my signature along with the information officer. This pass we will take inside and ask that why are we not being allowed to take in. Come with me. So this is the reception from where you go inside. And we'll just try asking again as what all we can do. सर मैं टाइम्स नाउ से हूँ. ये पास है, 16 तारीख को इशू किया गया था. हमें अंदर जाने की परमिशन चाहिए है. आप लोगों में से कोई जानता है कि हमें परमिशन क्यों नहीं दी गई है? जी
कुछ नहीं बता सकते मैडम.
आपको 16-17 तारीख को जब हम आए थे, so this was the same register on which we had done our signature mentioning our name, organization, time, contact number, IDs and mobile number in fact. So these are all the 3 registers that have been kept over here. We sign on these registers and then from there, Delhi Police Security, we take our right and all our instruments are being checked. Sir, please बता दीजिए आप हमें अंदर जाने के लिए क्यों रोक रहे हैं? जी
हमें कुछ नहीं पता मैम.
तो फिर पता नहीं है तो कैसे रोक सकते हैं? मतलब क्या कारण है रोकने का? कुछ आइडिया है आपको?
कुछ नहीं पता मैम, सॉरी.
तो आपको बताया, बस इतना बताया गया है कि टाइम्स नाउ को नहीं जाने देना है. ये बोला गया है अभी अंदर से, ऊपर से।
मैम आप अपने ऊपर से पता करें, हमें ज्यादा नहीं कहना।
आपको नहीं पता तो सर जाने दीजिए फिर हमें अंदर।
नहीं, हम ऐसे जाने नहीं देंगे।
तो हमारे पास क्या हमने कुछ गलत चीज की है जिससे हमें अंदर नहीं जान दे रहे? हमारे पास अपनी इक्विपमेंट है, ये पास है। आप कहें तो हमारे पास अपना आधार कार्ड भी है, ऑफिस का आईडी कार्ड भी है जिसपे आईडी नंबर और डिटेल्स लिखी हुई हैं। आप तो यहाँ के ही ऑफिशियल हैं। सर क्या कारण है हमें जाने नहीं दे रहे अंदर?
नहीं, इस बारे में हमें नहीं पता मैडम।
हम पता नहीं तो सर जाने दीजिए ना अंदर फिर। आपको सुबह से ही मना कर दिया है कि टाइम्स नाउ फलाना फलाना चैनल को, टाइम्स नाउ को, टाइम्स नाउ के जितने भी सिस्टर चैनल से हमें अंदर नहीं जाने देना है। और भी कोई चैनल से जिन्हें रोका गया है? किसी और चैनल को मना किया है आने के लिए कि इनके अलावा और कोई चैनल नहीं आ पाएंगे?
नहीं मैम, हमें नहीं पता जी।
नहीं पता है, बस टाइम्स नाउ का ही बताया गया है आपको। रीजन भी नहीं बता पाएंगे आप?
नहीं, इस बारे में कुछ नहीं कह पाएंगे हम।
पर अभी अंदर जा सकते हैं हम?
नहीं मैम।
नहीं, अभी नहीं।
जी अंदर जा सकते हैं अभी हम?
नहीं नहीं
नहीं जा सकते. So this is the result. What is the outcome when we showed our pass over here? This is the security, in fact, that takes place over here. However, we cannot show these all things in our visuals. But this is the pass that is being issued to each and every individual who comes over here as a media person, and it is a very valid pass. Till date, on 16th and 17th, I myself came over here to get an entry inside the Delhi Legislative Assembly. But again, we were not allowed to go inside.
हम यहाँ पे खड़े होकर अपना काम कर रहे हैं, हमें तो अंदर जाने की परमिशन भी है, आप हमें अंदर नहीं जाने दे रहे हैं, उसके बाद भी हम यहाँ पे खड़े हैं चुपचाप। ये डीआईपी का नहीं है क्या? डीआईपी का नहीं है, डीआईपी की मोहर नहीं है, डीआईपी की डायरेक्टर।
आप डीआईपी को कॉन्टेक्ट करिए, वहाँ बात करिए।
आज टाइम्स नाउ बैन हो गया, कल टाइम्स नाउ को अलाउ कर रहे थे, सब अंदर बैठे हैं, हमें बाहर खड़ा कर रखा है। बीजेपी एमएलए आते हैं, ऑफिसर्स आते हैं, आम लोग आते हैं मिलने, हमारा कोई राइट नहीं है क्या?
कल तक अलाउ थे, जब आज नहीं अंदर तो फैमिली
क्यों नहीं अलाउ है? हमें या तो बताइए या हमें ऑर्डर दिलवाइए, या जो हमें नहीं अलाउ कर रहे हैं उनसे बोलिए कि यहाँ पर आए और हमें हटाए। हम तो यहीं पे खड़े हैं। विनोद गुप्ता जी फोन नहीं उठा रहे, विनोद गुप्ता जी को एक काम करिए, बाहर बुला लिए, बाहर बुला लिए,
अंदर असेंबली में भाई,
असेंबली से बाहर बुला लिए।
हम पहले दिन से कह रहे हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल राजनीतिक खींच उतारने के लिए दिल्ली विधानसभा के सेशन का उपयोग करते हैं। अगर आपके पत्रकार कुछ बात कर रहे हैं और आप उनको डंडे के बल पर, जोर के बल पर उनको रोकना चाहोगे कि ये इनको अलाउ नहीं करेंगे, या जैसे पंजाब में हुआ कि भावना आपकी जो पत्रकार थे उनके खिलाफ झूठे मुकदमे दर्ज किए गए, ये पूरा सिस्टम ये दिखाता है कि ये अराजक और नक्सलवादी लोग हैं। इनको सिर्फ अपनी प्रशंसा सुननी है, इनकी आलोचना करना, इन पे उंगली उठाना या इनको सच्चाई दिखाना, ये अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी टीम को बर्दाश्त नहीं है। इस कृत्य की मैं घोर निंदा करता हूं कि कलम की ताकत को दबाना ये लोकतंत्र का हल नहीं है।
केजरीवाल साहब सुबह कुछ बोलते हैं, दोपहर को कुछ बोलते हैं, शाम को कुछ बोलते हैं, उनकी कोई क्रेडिबिलिटी नहीं है। यही केजरीवाल साहब भारत तेरे टुकड़े होंगे इंशाल्लाह गैंग के साथ खड़े होते हैं और वहां उनको रोका जाता है भारत के टुकड़ों में, तो वहां तो फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच और फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन हो गई। और अगर एक चैनल रियल स्टोरी अगर दिखा रहे हैं लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए, भ्रष्टाचार से रोकने के लिए, गुंडागर्दी से लिए, उस पर आप रोक लगाएंगे तो ये केजरीवाल का दोहरा चरित्र जो है वो धीरे धीरे एक्सपोज हो रहा है।
टाइम्स नाउ के जो कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंट हैं उनको दिल्ली सरकार असेंबली में और जगहों में आने के लिए बिल्कुल मना कर रही है। ये निंदनीय है। देखिए, आपको कहानी सही लगे गलत लगे, अगर आपको लगता है कि टाइम्स नाउ ने जो किया है वो गलत किया है तो उसके तौर तरीके होते हैं। ये घबराई हुई सरकार है, गलत सरकार है, जो रिपोर्टर्स को आकर अपनी बात पूछने और सवाल पूछने के लिए मना करती है। जैसे मैंने कहा, कई बार कोई सवाल ऐसा हो जो वो बात उन्होंने उठाई हो और आपको ठीक ना लगती हो तो उसका जवाब दीजिए। हम भी कांग्रेस में थे, टाइम्स नाउ ने बहुत बार कांग्रेस के खिलाफ कहानियां की, हमको कई बार लगा कि वो कहानियां सही नहीं है, लेकिन कहीं आपको ये दिखा था कि कांग्रेस के लोग या कांग्रेस के नेता या हम लोग दिल्ली में हमने कभी टाइम्स नाउ के कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंट्स को रोका हो? इत्तेफाक रखते हो, नार इत्तेफाक रखते हो, चैनल को अपना काम करने दीजिए, और आपको लगता है चैनल गलत है तो जवाब दीजिए।
Let me go across to the two reporters and ask them if they've heard from the Delhi government so far. Tejshree is joining us. Ila is joining us as well. You've seen both their reports. Both reporters blocked from entering the Delhi Assembly despite having a valid pass. Why it's being done, I think, is very obvious to everyone. It is as clear as daylight. The fact is that Operation Sheesh Mahal was a deep, deep embarrassment to the Aam Aadmi Party. This is simply retaliation number 2. Retaliation number 1 was the arrest of a journalist called Bhawana, who was going essentially to cover an event of Arvind Kejriwal in Punjab. He was opening some mohalla clinics there. She was arrested, as I said, on very flimsy grounds. And what you're seeing now is retaliation number 2. Point is, you have a problem with the reportage, you have a problem with what was broadcast as part of Operation Sheesh Mahal. Register that protest. You think it's not right? Send a legal notice. You think it's not right? Call it out. The point is that the entire reportage was bang on. It was, there were no concocted facts there. It was all on paper. Mr. Kejriwal was caught out spending 45 crore rupees on renovating his official bungalow. It was wrong. It embarrassed the Aam Aadmi Party. But does it mean that you strike back and retaliate at journalists? If you do, then what you are essentially doing is crushing the spirit of democracy. Tejshree, I'm coming to you first. I want to ask you, we've seen your entire report. We know what happened. I want to ask you whether you've managed to speak to someone within the Aam Aadmi Party or the administration that actually issues out these temporary passes for journalists like you to cover the assembly. Are they saying anything at all, or is it all Monrat today as well?
Well, so far there has been no official word from the government and the MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party who participated in the discussion today. But yes, when we went there at around 11 a.m., which is the time when the assembly starts, remember that since past 2 days consecutively, Times Network has been reporting on the Delhi Legislative Assembly, its proceedings, its discussion, what the papers are to be laid. Each and every detail we have been mentioning via reporting, coverage, live. We have been sending the flashes also. But today, on 18th of August, on the third day, which was the extended day for the Delhi Legislative Assembly, when we went at 11 a.m. in the morning, we were blocked. Our vehicle was stopped. We were asked that you belong from which channel. The moment we told that we belong from Times Network, they saw our ID card and then our vehicle was asked to stop. In fact, our vehicle was not even allowed to park in the parking zone. We were standing along with our vehicle, my camera person, the driver, outside the Delhi Legislative Assembly. This was scene number 1. Number 2, when we showed our passes, the pass that was issued on 16th of August that mentioned till date. That means so far the Delhi Legislative Assembly will continue. That pass is valid for us. I showed that pass. They said, no, you cannot in fact enter with this pass even. And in fact, remember that yesterday and day before also with the same pass, we had mentioned or we had done the entry also in the register mentioning our name, contact number, details, organization's name and signature as well. But today all the 3 officials, as you have seen in our report also, who said that no, you will not be allowed to go in. When we asked them the reason, they said that they do not know the reason that why we have been blocked, we have been stopped. A full stop has been put on the report on the reporters, those who are willing to go inside the Delhi Legislative Assembly with all the formal and official procedure. We followed all the procedures. We were doing our work, but then this is what we get in return when we ask the questions, when we raise the issues that are related to the public, issues that are related to the Delhi's Janta of Delhi, issues that exposes the scam, the irregularities that have been happening in the government, so in the Delhi government so far. But then when we raise the question, this unfortunate things happens with us. We are asked to stand outside the Delhi Legislative Assembly. And so far there has been no answer from any official so far. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tejshree. Ila, we saw your report where the guards even had a problem with you standing outside the assembly and reporting. I saw that report that you have filed as well. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Tejshree. Any explanation whatsoever about why you and Tejshree were blocked?
No, as far no response is given from the Aam Aadmi Party. Let me tell you here, first of all, we reached there at around 10, and after that we also showed them the passes which were valid for 3 days of the assembly, and from past 2 days we have been covering, me and Tejshree Both were inside the Delhi Assembly, and we both were covering the Delhi Assembly procedure. But today we were barred from here, and Aam Aadmi Party is no member of Aam Aadmi Party, or even the minister had taken a responsibility. We were not given any kind of explanation or any kind of reason, as well as the other thing is there was no written order which was shown to us. We also went to the registrars there who also write the entry, and those who check the ID cards. We also went there and we asked them that who told them to stop us, why we are barred from entering the Delhi Assembly. Then they said that it is the clear order from the top bosses, but they don't know the reason that why we are being stopped. We are being gagged by the Aam Aadmi Party, Times Network specifically, be it Times Now, Mirror Now, Times Now, Navbharat. We were especially gagged, and there was scrutiny amongst the security as well, that as far as any journalist who is related with Times Network, they have to be stopped. And even those journalists who are from other channels were being also checked twice or thrice, again and again, seeing that there is no, making sure that there is no person from Times Network, there is no reporter from Times Network. The question is, Aam Aadmi Party, which is a national party, should conduct such kind of behavior where they put their security guards there, where they use the security to harass the journalists. And the other thing is, like, nobody could expect that a national party would do this. And also, like, Delhi Legislative Assembly is a place which is made from the people's money, from the taxpayer money, and now we as who are raising the issues of people are being barred and gagged and stopped. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ila. And you certainly have a point there. Let me quickly introduce my guest this evening. Jyot Jeet Sabarwal is the BJP spokesperson on the show. Sanjeev Kaushik is a political analyst, will be speaking on behalf of the Aam Aadmi Party. And Anil Tyagi is editor, G-Files. Gentlemen, thank you very much, and thank you more importantly for your patience. Sanjeev Kaushik, I'm coming to you first. What explains this behavior? Is this behavior even normal? Fine. You don't like... हाँ, बोलिए.
बेहद खतरनाक है। मुझे लगता है कि उसे किसी भी रेगुलरिटी के तहत लाना या उसे बैन करना, ये स्वस्थ लोकतंत्र की पहचान नहीं हो सकती है, और इसके पक्ष में हम कभी खड़े नहीं होंगे। लेकिन हमें प्रेस के बारे में भी सोचना होगा, मीडिया के बारे में भी सोचना होगा कि आखिर ऐसा क्या हो गया जिसकी वजह से इस तरह की परिस्थितियां आन पड़ी। यदि प्रेस को कोई दूसरे नामों से इंगित करता है, या क्या प्रेस सचमुच में, एक पत्रकार की बात मैं करूं, पत्रकार जब तक पत्रकारिता करे तब तक तो ठीक है, लेकिन जब वो पक्षकार बन जाता है तो निश्चित तौर पे उसकी सारी विश्वसनीयता खतरे में पड़ जाती है। आम आदमी पार्टी ये मानती है कि
कौशिक जी, मैं आपकी बात अग्री करती हूँ। मैं आपकी बात अग्री करती हूँ कि पत्रकार को पत्रकारिता करनी चाहिए और निष्पक्ष पत्रकारिता करनी चाहिए। मैं आपकी बात मान रही हूँ। मैं आपकी ये भी बात मान रही हूँ कि आजकल बहुत लोग हैं जो ये बात बोलते हैं कि द मीडिया इज बायस्ड, पत्रकार बिके हुए हैं। मैं बहुत सुनती हूँ, खुद पत्रकार हूँ, इसलिए बहुत सुनती हूँ ये बात आए। लेकिन एक बात मुझे बताइए कौशिक जी, सच बताइएगा, आपने ऑपरेशन शीश महल देखा? मैंने देखा, पूरा देखा मैंने। और उसमें एक भी बात ऐसी नहीं थी कौशिक जी, है ना, उसमें एक भी बात कौशिक जी ऐसी थी जो गलत थी या झूठ थी या बायस थी। वो तो एक कागज का पर्चा था, सरकार की कागज का पर्चा था जिसमें सब कुछ लिखा था। 45 करोड़ रुपीस बीइंग स्पेंट टू रेनोवेट द ऑफिशियल बंगलो ऑफ अरविंद केजरीवाल। 1 करोड़ रुपए पर्दे में ही लगा दिए। अब आप बताइए, अगर इस चीज की रिपोर्टिंग की जाए, यही तो पत्रकार का धर्म है ना।
मैं उस रिपोर्ट पे
सही रिपोर्टिंग करना, सच्ची रिपोर्टिंग करना, यही तो पत्रकार का धर्म है।
मैं उस रिपोर्ट पे कोई प्रश्न खड़ा नहीं कर रहा, लेकिन साथ साथ मैं ये भी जोड़ना चाहता हूं कि पत्रकारिता का या पत्रकार का या किसी संस्थान का काम ये है कि यदि कोई स्टोरी की गई, यदि कोई रिपोर्ट लाया, तो उसे लोगों के बीच में रख दिया जाए। बाकी का काम सरकार का करना है या बाकी का काम लोग करेंगे। लेकिन जब एक पत्रकारिता का संस्थान पूरा एक वकील के जैसे, एक केस के जैसे लड़ने लगे और उसे केस बना ले, और लगातार आपसे मैं भी सवाल पूछ सकता हूं इस तरह से कि कितने दिनों तक वो स्टोरी चलाई गई थी, और पूरे हिंदुस्तान में क्या एकमात्र यही विलक्षण घटना हो गई थी, ऐसी घटना जिसकी चर्चा की जाए, बाकी घटनाओं पर चर्चा न की जाए। एक यदि संस्थान लगातार सुबह से लेकर शाम तक एक स्टोरी पे काम करे और लगातार किसी एक पार्टी विशेष को टारगेट करे, तो निश्चित तौर पर पार्टी के जहन में यदि ये बात आती है तो ये स्वाभाविक है, ये कोई नई बात नहीं है। उस जगह पे शायद आप भी होती तो ये बात आती कि हमारी छवि को खराब करने की ये कोशिश की जा रही है। आखिर मैंने कहा कि चूंकि मैं भी पत्रकारिता का छात्र रहा हूं, तो मेरा कर्तव्य क्या, ये किसी स्टोरी को लेकर के हम कहां तक जा सकते हैं? क्या हम वकालत कर सकते हैं? हम वकील बन के हम इसको केस के जैसे एक लड़ सकते हैं ले जाके अदालतों में? हमारा ले जाना हमारा काम है, या स्टोरी को केवल देख जैसा था, जो रिपोर्ट था, वो लोगों के बीच में रख देना काम है? मुझे लगता है कि ये जो मैसेज गया है उससे आम आदमी पार्टी बहुत ज्यादा दुखी है या आहत है, जो भी कह ले, जिसके वजह से हम तो ये भी पूछते हैं कि उस स्टोरी के पहले क्या टाइम्स नाउ के किसी रिपोर्टर को बैन किया गया था? क्या उससे पहले किसी को इस तरह से जाने में बंदिश लगाई गई
नहीं
थी?
किया गया
नहीं।
था।
उस
लेकिन मैं आपको एक और बात बताती हूँ, कौशिक जी, मैं आपको एक और बात बताती हूँ। स्टोरी फाइल करने से पहले, क्योंकि इन चीजों को मैंने ध्यान से देखा, क्योंकि वो स्टोरी मिरर नाउ पे भी चलनी थी, और हम बहुत फूक फूक के ऐसे मामलों में कदम रखते हैं, क्योंकि आए दिन लीगल नोटिस आते रहते हैं हम लोगों को। मैं आपको बता देती हूँ, पत्रकारिता का एक नियम होता है कि अगर आप किसी के खिलाफ स्टोरी कर रहे हैं तो आप उसका पक्ष मांगे। वो पक्ष मांगने हमारे रिपोर्टर गए, और वो पक्ष आम आदमी पार्टी का रखा भी। मुझे इनफैक्ट याद है कि राघव चड्ढा पहले दिन बैठे हुए थे और आम आदमी पार्टी को डिफेंड कर रहे थे। एट नो पॉइंट मिस्टर कौशिक कैन यू से दैट द आम आदमी पार्टी वाज नॉट गिवन an opportunity to defend themselves. They were given an opportunity to defend themselves. आप कह रहे हैं इतना लंबा क्यों चलाया ऑपरेशन शीश महल? ये तो एक एजेंडा की तरह था, ये कैंपेन की तरह था। चलिए, एक मिनट के लिए मैं मान भी लूं, आप कह रहे हैं एजेंडा है, कैंपेन है, एक मिनट के लिए मैं मान भी लूं, उसका रिटेलिएशन ये है कि आप एक जर्नलिस्ट को जो मोहल्ला क्लिनिक का इनॉग्रेशन कवर करने गई है, आप उसको जेल में डाल दें 3 दिन के लिए।
देखिए
उसका रिटेलिएशन ये है कि दिल्ली असेंबली में जो 2 लड़कियां गई हैं कवर करने के लिए, वो क्या कर रही थी वहां पे? सिर्फ कवर कर रही थी। आप उनको बैन कर दें। ये दिस इज अगेंस्ट द डेमोक्रेटिक स्पिरिट ऑफ दिस कंट्री मिस्टर कौशिक।
मैं मीडिया के ताकत से भी इनकार नहीं कर रहा, और सरकार की ताकत से भी, इस्तेमाल सत्ता की ताकत से भी मैं इनकार नहीं कर रहा। ये 2 हाथियों की लड़ाई में निश्चित तौर पे वहां पे जो घास होते हैं वो उस तरह से कुचले जाते हैं। ये जो जिस लड़की के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, या ये जिस संस्थान की अभी जो हमारी बहन गई थी और जिसे नहीं एंट्री दी गई, निश्चित तौर पे ये एक संस्थान का, एक सरकार के द्वारा जो टकराहट चल रही थी उसका नतीजा या खामियाजा ये भुगत रहे थे। अन्यथा इससे पहले इन लोगों की एंट्री थी। मैं यही पूछ रहा हूँ कि आखिर टाइम्स नाउ की ही एंट्री बैन क्यों हो गई है या हुई है? इसके बारे में तो हमें सोचना होगा ना।
बिल्कुल नहीं, सोचना क्या होगा, वो तो मैंने बता दिया क्यों हुई है, और आपने और मैंने चर्चा भी कर ली। लेकिन अब आप मुझे ये कह रहे हैं कि सिर्फ सरकार की प्रशंसा करेंगे, सरकार को मक्खन लगाएंगे, अच्छी अच्छी बातें बोलेंगे, सिर्फ तभी अब पत्रकारों को एंट्री है, नहीं तो नहीं है। तो ये तो हो नहीं सकता ना। ये हम लोगों का काम तो है ही नहीं किसी की प्रशंसा करना। मैं तो हमेशा बोलती हूँ, मुझसे मेरी मदर बोलती है, हर चीज के लिए तुम नेगेटिव हो, क्रिटिकल हो। मैं कहती हूँ हमारा काम ही ये है।
मैंने ये नहीं कहा
सरकार की तारीफ करना हमारा काम नहीं है।
कड़वे से कड़वे सवाल पूछे जाने चाहिए। जनता के हर उस सरोकारी मुद्दे पे सरकार को घेरना चाहिए। यदि गलती है उस स्टोरी में, मैंने कहा कि उस स्टोरी में बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो मैं यदि पक्ष रख रहा हूं या उसके तरफ से मैं बात कर रहा हूं, फिर भी मुझे ऐसा लगा कि नहीं, कि यदि कुछ सच्चाई है तो लोगों के बीच में आना चाहिए। लेकिन मैं बार बार एक ही बात को अंडरलाइन करने का प्रयास करूंगा कि उसे एक केस के जैसे किसी संस्थान को नहीं लड़ना चाहिए। बाकी काम आगे करना है, वो बाकी का काम आगे होगा। लेकिन संस्थान ने जिस तरह से उसे लगातार उस स्टोरी को चलाया, या अभी भी कल से एक स्टोरी स्टार्ट है, तो इससे ये साबित होता है कि कहीं ना कहीं संस्थान के मन में भी उस पार्टी के प्रति अच्छे विचार नहीं है।
प्रदीप, चलिए, आपकी बात मैंने सुनी। Pradeep is our reporter in Jammu. He is joining us on the broadcast. He is joining us from outside the Jammu Press Club, speaking to some editors there. Pradeep, it's over to you.
See, I want to tell the person who is here right now, one of the panelists, he's saying that party ke prati vichar. It's not about the party ke prati vichar. We are trained to ask questions direct, straight and pointed to people in corridor of power. And right now, Aam Aadmi Party is there in power, so we have to ask them questions. And my colleague, both Ila and Tejshree, were performing their duty. You can just stop them, because on one hand, you talk about a democracy. This is simply nothing but a dictatorial farman from the Kejriwal government side, because reason being, no rocket science is required. We had simply exposed the corruption. We have simply exposed the wrongdoings of the government, because carefully they had crafted a imandar, cutter imandar kind of an image that was decimated with one story of Times Network. That was the Operation Cheechman. Everybody knows this 45 crore that should have been spent for oxygen cylinder, where Delhi was gasping for oxygen. But instead what it was done, it was used to spend for the renovation of house. Right now I'm joined by the President of Press Association from the Jammu and Kashmir region. कैसे देखते हैं आप ये जिस तरीके से हमारे दो पत्रकारों को आज रोका गया, आप कैसे देखते हैं?
देखिए प्रदीप जी, ये पूरा एक डेमोक्रेसी का मर्डर है। और मुझे याद आ रहा है कि जब इमरजेंसी इंदिरा गांधी लगाई थी, उसने भी उसी वक्त इसी तरह के एक्शन किए थे। और बाद में आपने देखा कि 75 में क्या हुआ, एंड शी वाज थ्रोन आउट। एंड दिस इज द सेम क्वेश्चन, दैट सेम सिचुएशन इज कमिंग, दैट केजरीवाल is murdering the press, and he was prepared the leader by the media people when he was nothing. And now the media people should come out, and they should condemn how the Times No teams were stopped, and one of the team was arrested in Punjab area also. But I think this is a black day for the all media person, and we should immediately come out. And these things should not be done by the politician. And he says that he is a very honest person when he has spent so much of money for the renovation of his residence, and he has nothing. He can't criticize the other people when he says that मैं एक वैगनार में चलूंगा और उसके बाद इनोवा में घूमना शुरू कर दिया। तो आई एम नॉट कंटेस्टिंग अबाउट कि ही कैन परचेज 2 crore rupees vehicle.
So very clear-cut message, because everybody here feels this is a death of democracy. What Arvind Kejriwal is doing, this is not a right thing. And so far as the Times Network team is concerned, we are trained to ask very straight, direct and pointed question. If they think that they are going to muzzle our voice, they will be stopping my colleagues from doing so. They will not succeed in their mission, because this is not that Arvind Kejriwal party. We had been doing it for the last so many years. That's one of the reasons that Times Network is really the one channel that people love to watch, because they know the only people journalists who really have the guts to ask question to the straight question to the establishment. But unfortunately, Kejriwal, who had been talking about the democracy when he started a moment before forming Aam Aadmi Party, the same Kejriwal is indulging in all those things. I think he has to answer several questions, which we'll keep on asking, and we'll keep on doing so. Whether it's Ila, Tejshree, me or anybody else, we'll keep on doing so. And that's what actually you are saying. आपको लगता है कि जर्नलिस्ट को अब आवाज उठानी चाहिए इस चीज के लिए?
बिल्कुल, जैसे इमरजेंसी में आवाज उठी थी और जर्नलिस्टों को अरेस्ट करना शुरू कर दिया था, and people came out, and we should contest. And I will request my senior colleagues in Delhi sitting and all over India that they should come out. Otherwise, they will start arresting more people. And
so what Ashwani ji want, that journalists need to be united, and they need to unequivocally condemn what really happened inside Delhi Vidhan Sabha today,
Okay.
Shreya.
Thank you very much, Pradeep, for getting us a senior journalistic voice there from Jammu. Jyot Jeet Sabarwal is BJP spokesperson, joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Sabarwal, any comments, any views that the BJP has on what has been happening within the Delhi Assembly? Forget all the politics and the natak that has been playing out over Manipur and the Delhi Ordinance. Yahan to bahari, the Aam Aadmi Party is busy muzzling democracy, as it were.
Bharat Mata ki jai. See, the only difference between Arvind Kejriwal and Adolf Hitler is their initials. Adolf Hitler had... We need to understand that it is not his father's ancestral property. It is the Delhi Vidhan Sabha. It is clearly a violation of the Article 19(1)(a). My colleague Niyoma Gupta also told you the same thing. I'm just reiterating the point. But there's a very important thing that we need to understand. This is a gender-based discrimination, right from Bhawana to Ila and Tejshree. Mr. Kejriwal, he's trying to instill fear into the media personnel by barring their entry, and he's trying to influence the neutrality of media. And this has been his modus operandi since the very beginning. I mean, whosoever, voices against his dictatorial moves and malpractices, he just suppresses them. So you talk about Mr. Kumar Vishwas. What did he do? He unveiled the nexus of Kejriwal and Khalistan. And we all know he was ousted. You talk about Delhi. Unconditional support is being offered, to community-specific religious institutions. Isn't that a discrimination? It is. Health. The poor people, they get free death in Delhi. whereas Mr. Bhagwant Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal ji's wife, the health minister, erstwhile, Mr. Stendra Jain, he gets treatment in Apollo and Max Hospital. Even his own MLAs are literally fed up of Mr. Kejriwal. And the latest thing that I've come across is his Kiradi MLA, Mr. Kejriwal's MLA, in the Vidhan Sabha, and I'm quoting him, he said, हमारे यहाँ अस्पताल की जरूरत है, मेरा अनुरोध है कि अस्पताल बनने चाहिए और मैं कर भी क्या सकता हूं. Literally, he was showing his helplessness. Mr. Kejriwal is nothing but a modern Adolf Hitler. What he has been doing to the times now is purely vendetta. And not only has he, it is not only dictatorial.
You're telling me this is vendetta. You're clearly seeing this as vendetta.
Vendetta, gender-based.
Mr. Sabarwal, you're clearly saying that this is vendetta. I hear you. I hear you. Let's hear from let's hear from some other journalists as well. I don't think it's gender based, by the way. I think if there were two male journalists from the Times Network, they would have been barred as well, but you're entitled to your opinion. I don't think this is gender based. Shivani Sharma, you're joining us from Delhi. I believe you have Mukesh Kaushik with you, who's a senior journalist. Go ahead, please. I'm sure he's seen the entire broadcast and what has happened to these two young journalists at the Delhi Assembly. Go ahead, please. What does he have to say?
Shreya, we've been getting reactions from the media fraternity also since we've broken the story of Operation Sheesh Mahal and whatever has happened after that, how the journalists have been gagged and they have been pushed, they have been stopped from covering events, and now Tejshree and Ila have been stopped and blocked from entering the Vidhan Sabha. Mr. Mukesh Kaushik, you are a very senior journalist. You've also seen what's happening with the journalists of Times Network. How do you see this, and why is this happening, and why Arvind Kejriwal is trying to stop all of us?
Without going to the merit of the case, why they have banned you, through you, Shivani, I would like to congratulate Times Now and its entire team for this excellent work you have done to get this reward from the Delhi government. I call it a reward for any media organization when they are being targeted, when they are being banned, when they are being criticized. Because we are in an industry, we are in a profession where if you are doing something good, you would be getting the brickbats. You would not be getting the laurels. The problem with the media is that we people are liked most, but liked most when we are buttering something. We are showing the positive aspect of any government.
Yeah, you were also a while ago saying the same thing, that we are not here to butter but to bring out whatever wrong is happening with the people's money, and that's what has happened in this particular case too, where we have exposed the Aam Aadmi Party's government for wasting public money in Sheesh Mahal and many other issues like that. So do you think what can be the solution? The media needs to be united, or Arvind Kejriwal should answer on this particular issue? How can he stop one particular media house from entering Vidhan Sabha? It's not his Vidhan Sabha. It is Delhi Vidhan Sabha. All the other parties are also there, and we are there to perform our duties. So how can he stop us from entering?
First of all, I really wish that Arvind Kejriwal government or any government which tries to ban any media organization should, a good sense should prevail to these governments, because these very people we have seen at Jantar Mantar advocating democracy, advocating openness, advocating transparency. So where these transparency, advocacy of media, Loktantra, fourth pillar has gone now. Correct. Now, we have seen the paradox. This very government is being praised by various media organizations. They are saying that this government is providing advertisement with full heart, but this is the government which is, targeting a particular media organization, that you cannot enter into the premise of the Vidhan Sabha. Vidhan Sabha is not made by Aam Aadmi Party. Correct. Vidhan Sabha is a building belonging to Delhi people. So nobody, in a sense, can be disallowed to enter in that, because people have given you the mandate to sit inside, and media has mandate to show you what you are doing. Correct. There was a time when Arvind Kejriwal was elected.
So Shreya, this is what Mr. Mukesh is also saying, that Vidhan Sabha is not Aam Aadmi Party's Vidhan Sabha, it's Delhi's People's Vidhan Sabha, and Times Network is always there to ask questions for the people on the issues related to them.
All right, Shivani, we leave it there for the moment, and thank you to Mukesh ji for joining us as well. I'm going to go to Anil Tyagi. He's the editor of G-Files, joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Tyagi, should we wear it as a badge of honor? If you're banned by a particular party, you know you're doing something right. I mean, we always say, right, don't we? If both sides, the right and the left, Congress and the BJP, are criticizing you, are critiquing you, are banning you, then maybe you're doing something right. I would have bought that. Only thing is, here are two young journalists. I mean, the vendetta has reached a point where two young journalists are banned from covering the Delhi Assembly. Again, everyone on this broadcast, Anilji, is raising the very valid point. Ye Delhi Assembly, Aam Aadmi Party ki पौष्तानिक धरोहर तो है नहीं. It's not ancestral property that belongs to the Aam Aadmi Party or Arvind Kejriwal. This is an assembly that has been made by the taxpayers' money. Every journalist has a democratic right to enter the assembly and cover proceedings there. I mean, it's okay for you to be upset about a particular coverage. It's another thing to unleash vendetta where you are arresting a young lady for no good reason and putting her behind bars for 3 days, and now stopping and barring these two young women from covering the assembly and doing their jobs, Mr. Tyagi. ये चल क्या रहा है?
देखिए, that is absolutely right what you are saying, and it should be condemned. First of all, on the first phase of it. And the second thing is that you must go into the details. Your reporters have done a commendable job to expose that, and why there is a hue and cry about exposing the 45 crore home. Because Arvind Kejriwal claimed to live a simple life and simple living and high thinking. I mean, he told people there in Delhi that I will be following the Gandhian thoughts and processes. That is the contradiction. That is the only thing. What is the story in a 445 crore rupees home? Because he belied all the hopes of the common man. What he claimed, he just discredited the claims, what he preached in the social life and the public life. Second thing is that the rot which is happening there in Delhi reporter circle is that he is misbehaving for a long time. This is not the first time he is misbehaving. As I have the information, and it is alleged that in the reporters group, Kejriwal's information network used to block the people, the reporters, who used to report anti and who used to report their internal cribbing. And that was happening for last 2 years. Number two, there is a trend which is alleged there now. Kejriwal has started appointing their own reporters in lieu of releasing the advertisements there in the different newspapers. And he has requested, as per my sources tells and reported to us, that has reported to the mainstream channels also to appoint their favorite journalists. And you see, this is happening. Your opening remarks were there that still it is a democracy. See, this is what we are apprehending, whether the democracy will prevail in this country or not. As you see today, Bimal Yadav, in that is called Khararia, there is a district in Bihar, he was murdered today. Today, there is a gag order in the UP. Correct. Where the district collectors have been empowered to vouch for the local reporters reporting, whether they are reporting in a right way or wrong way. Who will judge? The district collectors will report judge the things. See, if you see in the totality, we are ranked internationally 161 out of 180 countries. This is a shame on us. And Kejriwal preaches democracy and equality, justice, and everything, and he just claims everything, whatever you talk to him. Kejriwal has been exposed before the nation, and he just trying to establish his credentials. He knew it from the very beginning in Delhi, that Delhi government will not be empowered by the center. Center is doing the mistake. There are 8 bodies which governs Delhi. This is a contradiction. Central government has to think also. The Delhi people can't be live at the mercy of the Kejriwal. let us dissolve this assembly. Why the
I
central government
absolutely
is
agree with you.
Why the
I
central-
agree with you. I'm not saying the center is in the right in this.
He calls a special one-day session whenever he
No,
wants to.
you know, the point is,
Yeah. So this is.
I agree with you on one point. I agree with you, Mr. Tyagi, on this point. That there is an issue between the Aam Aadmi Party government and the centre. And the issues that the Aam Aadmi Party raises vis-a-vis the centre have some merit. I'm not taking away from that. What simply does not have any merit is the action that the Aam Aadmi Party government and Arvind Kejriwal are taking against reporters who are simply doing their job. What essentially you're trying to do is gag the press. The press is not supposed to be friendly to netas or political parties or elected governments. That is not our job. Exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you. And I agree with you there. And I'll just have to wrap my conversation here with all of you. Yeah.
Sheila Dikshit ran the government for 15 years with the same set of rules and same set of commands. You know, he doesn't want to see. He wants to be despotic in everything. That is a problem. And Delhi can't have a despot chief minister.
That's another discussion. But that's another discussion for another day. That's another discussion for another day, because there is a point of view that if you have an elected government in Delhi, you might as well let them rule, let them govern. If you take away everything from them, what is the point of having an elected government at all? You have just reduced them to show pieces and nothing else. So that's another debate. That's another debate. But today's debate, I think we'll just stick to today's debate. Today's debate is about journalists being gagged by a party whose origins are in the anti-corruption movement of this country. And corruption will thrive if you try and gag the press like Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has. Essentially, he's crushing the spirit of democracy, the very spirit of democracy that has actually given birth to the Aam Aadmi Party, a party like the Aam Aadmi Party. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tyagi, for joining us. Thank you to all our guests for joining us as well, Sanjeev Kaushik and Jyot Jeet Sabarwal. I'm afraid I'm out of time. I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. Up next, we have a special segment coming up for you. Do stay with us.